things just took a massive turn for the Buccaneers. Unfortunate news, big injury news out of the safety room. This past week, we lost one of our young, bright, and very promising studs in the safety room, competing for a spot on the 53-man roster. Didn't lose him, obviously, like passed away, but he's lost for the season. I'm Sebastian with Buccaneers Digest. Welcome back, guys. And we've got some unfortunate news to talk about regarding a very promising young star for the Bucs he's been getting a lot of rave reviews throughout training camp and preseason. Made a play in the first game of the preseason, but then wasn't able to play in the preseason game 2 because of his injury. But make sure to subscribe first before we talk about this. 95% of y'all are not subscribed, but that's okay. If you hit the bell, hit the button, and join the Bucs Digest, you will be here to get all things Buccaneers updated on as these things develop. But what are we talking about today? We are talking about our one and only J.J. Roberts. Greg Auman reported that Bucs will put J.J. Roberts on injured reserve with his knee injury. He sustained that injury, obviously, in the joint practice on Thursday. And like David Walker, he was someone that they expect to make an impact in 2026. But that's 2 unfortunate losses in the preseason. JJ was not a drafted player, but it doesn't matter as long as you're in training camp, you're competing for a spot. As long as you're performing well, and if you're really showing some good stuff, you can make the roster spot. Like a 6th or 7th rounder might have the same chances of making the roster as an undrafted guy. And JJ was getting a lot of buzz. And it's a real bummer to hear that once again, like another promising young guy, it goes down with a knee injury, just like David Walker did. Season ending, they'll be looking for him to come back, bounce back in 2026 to try and make an impact. But this is just obviously a loss. The safety room in general is pretty shallow, like we've talked about, and we're kind of looking for answers right now because obviously Antoine is great. He has been an All-Pro, a first-team All-Pro in the past. He's looking to get back to that, but he's also, he's still kind of dealing with some lingering injuries, and he's just trying his best to, get back to his normal self. But we have Tyke Smith transferring over to the other safety spot, but this will be his first time really being a starting safety, where that's his main role. So that's a new thing for us. And then beyond that, the depth is scary. We'll be switching guys around. Izzian will probably be taking some turns at safety, and but the size is not exactly what we're looking for, and so that's just something that we should be looking out for. Is there's a lot that we need to be concerned about. Scott Reynolds at a Pewter Report had to say that Roberts was competing for a spot on the secondary depth chart, primarily with reserve safeties Kevion Merriweather, Rashawn Wisdom, and fellow undrafted free agent Shiloh Sanders. Now, each of those players have more of a viable path to making the roster, with one less player in competition for what could be the final safety spot behind Winfield, Smith, and Izzian. Smith being Tyke and Izzian. So that's what we're referring to, is now that JJ is not really, because he was in the driver's seat for that spot, and now, okay, is it going to be Kevion? Is it going to be Shiloh? Is it going to be any of these guys? I've said in the past, I don't believe Shiloh has shown enough to make the final 53-man roster. Maybe he can make the practice squad, but we're also, it's an open game. I won't say who can or can't make it. I think that it is truly an open competition now for the final safety spot. And I'm not a huge fan of relying on just a bunch of young guys to make this work. I would rather bring in a veteran to help out, shore up this safety. Just like the quarterback room with Teddy Bridgewater. We brought him in because it's okay, we need a veteran presence behind Baker. As much as we respect Trask, that he's been in the system for 5 years now, we need someone that has been there, done that, played with starters and played with a lot of starters over his his journey across the NFL, playing for a bunch of different NFL teams. He's a great leader, and just that experience gives a lot to that quarterback room. I think we need the same thing for the safety room. Obviously things didn't work out with Whitehead. We could bring him back if we wanted to, if things get really desperate, but because we do have money to use. And Greg Allman also had to say that the Bucs aren't interested in using any more salary cap on depth, or for example, Justin Simmons. This is someone that a lot of Bucs fans, myself included, have been circulating the name and talking about, okay, is this a possibility? Can we make this work? Because he has proven to be a valuable veteran, a valuable presence. He makes interceptions. He's very adaptable. He wants to play for a contending team, which the Bucs are. But and with the injuries piling up, I think spending the money on a 1-year deal is worth it. But Greg Allman is saying that it seems like the Bucs aren't interested in that. They're just more interested in developing young talent, which is great. I understand, but when you're making a push for a Super Bowl, contending team, you need to make moves to ensure that you have safety precautions, and you're not just relying on a bunch of rookies, untested guys to get you there. Because I don't see the path there, where you're just like hoping some of these developmental talents will be able to make big plays in the playoffs. I don't think that's going to be the case, and it worries me to be fully honest. Our pass rush isn't exactly elite as it is right now. I mean, Yahya and Hassan are great, but if one of those guys goes down, we're toast. And it's the same thing with our safeties. Tyke and Antoine, I'm sure, will be a great duo, but if Antoine, one of his lingering injuries, comes back, we might be just cooked in the safety room, and I'd rather have a veteran there than be relying on youth to kind of save us. Speaking of youth, the Buccaneers did bring in someone else dealing with injuries at safety. Bucs are signing rookie safety Will Brooks from Tennessee, who was a tryout player at rookie minicamp and also briefly with the Saints. He had 4 interceptions in 2024. That was in college. So, okay, we're bringing in this guy. We don't really know much about him. He was playing in the SEC, so Division I, and he had some interceptions. That's good to hear. But we'll have to wait and see what he brings out of the rookie minicamp. It's kind of late, to be honest. But at the same time, when you have guys go down, you need to bring up in extra bodies to try and compete for the spot and make sure that the competition stays healthy and stays strong. And so that, he could surprise me. I'm open to it. I trust the scouting staff and the scouting guys and for the Bucs. They know how to find guys that other NFL teams don't know how to. So there is that. But at the same time, I don't know. J.J. Roberts, yes, he was a rookie too, but he was so promising. He's been in the system ever since that we picked him up for minicamp. People have been kind of saying his name like, wow, this guy's standing out. And now he's not here. Now we won't be able to have him for until next year, 2026. And it's a big blow. Our secondary is really young. We have Parrish trying to pick up the slack for Jamel Dean in the corner room, and Benjamin Morrison's also trying to get off of his injuries to try and get on the field. It's just the injuries are getting really frustrating again. The secondary once again is just struggling to stay out there. And I think the Bucs need some help. I need some veteran help. But you let me know down below what you think regarding the injury of J.J. Roberts. Do you think it's not as big of a deal as I'm making it out to be? Or are you kind of like in panic mode like I am, where it's like, okay, I would prefer the Bucs make a move for a veteran to shore up this safety room so we have, a safer net around our guys, because corners also big question mark. Parrish is looking good, but at the same time, it's like we don't have any room for error. We don't have any room no one wants to expect guys to go down, but it's football, and we're this early in. We're not even in the third preseason game, and it feels like the ice is already cracking underneath the secondary's feet for the Buccaneers once again. So I'm very much hoping that this isn't the last of the Bucs moves. They try and make another push to get some extra guys in there. But again, I want to ask you guys, what do you think about the Bucs secondary situation, the safeties in particular? Do you think we're okay? Do you think I'm overreacting? Sound down below. I want to hear your thoughts. I would love to be comforted. Or if you agree, think that this is bad, the Bucs need to make a move, then also sound down below, make your voice heard, and let the community know. But subscribe, stay tuned. I will keep you updated as this situation develops. And as the Bucs push forward, there will be no joint practices this week for the Bills, but they will be home for their final preseason game, and we'll be seeing if any starters play or if not. My guess is not, but we will see going forward how that develops. But yeah, sound down below, and I will see y'all on the next one.